Happy Monday, sports bettors. March 25th. My name is Boyd. I teach beginner and struggling sports bettors how to use OddsJam. Now, OddsJam is a betting tool that has market analysis to find outlying prices and a lot of different strategies and methods and tools and tips, a way to profit mathematically using the markets. We're betting the markets, not the books. And so to have these tools is very, 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 very helpful to profit over and over again in all the markets, all the seasons, all the sports, etc. So what I do is go through and show you on this channel Monday through Friday some tools, some methods, some heuristics that you can incorporate right away, so you can do this for yourself. Give you a handful of picks on what's going on. I'm in the Denver market in the Mountain Time Zone, so it's about 7:30 in the morning. We try to get these picks out early. We're doing a lot of picks throughout the course today, so this is just a handful. So if you like this kind of content, make sure you join the show. Again, those new to the channel, this channel is all about helping sports bettors get better. Now, I do have my website, boyddavis.com, where you can go get private one-on-one consulting, and also we have a brand new course, just literally finished it. It is everything top to bottom, left to right, everything you need to know. So that course is available. It's something you can do on your own, but if you want the private consulting, I'm here to help. I have a couple different packages as far as time that you might want available. What we do is we meet initially to kind of talk about your goals, kind of where you've been, what you've been doing, where you want to go, and then I come back afterward. We set up a separate meeting and a second one to go through a plan, a profit plan, to put all these steps in place and get you out of the gate and off and running. So again, if you don't have the tools, you need to get the tools. OddsJam's a betting tool you have to find the market value. Make sure you use the links below to get signed up and save 20% off your first 2 months. Get that done, and let me know how it goes. Let's get on to the picks. Okay, guys, here we go. Now, the first stop I make is always the positive EV page, just sort of a habit, sort of a heuristic that I do every morning. First stop here on the left-hand side is the percent edge, the market edge, the perceived market edge, the pregame market edge. So this is a pre-match. There's currently 69 games going on and events going on. In your settings, in your filters, you can set all this up according to the sports book, according to the bet type, the percent edge that you want to see minimally. On the left-hand side here, the market width. Everything you need to do or want to do is in the settings piece of this. You can also hit play, and this button will continuously bring the content in fast and furious. If you don't hit this, you can refresh and update it as you go. So that's kind of an important button to know. Refresh is kind of keeping you up to date on the latest and greatest updates on the various lines. These markets change continuously. Right now it is about 7:38 a.m. So this is actually 7:39. So this information is about 1 minute old. So usually what you're going to find here is the highlighted area is the wager type or the wager that you would go with. That is not the case with Pinnacle. Pinnacle is a sports book that in the U.S. we're not able to access, but Pinnacle we use as a true north, sort of as a price point, as a market making sports book. So what we're trying to do is find outlying prices with these books. So what I typically do in these scenarios is I'll take this point spread bet here with the Suns and the Spurs, and you can see it's got minus 14.5 with Pinnacle. Although typically it's the other side here that we're going to be looking to bet on, because you got FanDuel and Bet Rivers, two very, 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 very public sites that are easy to pick off. Now what I'm doing is I'm opening up the charts here at Pinnacle at minus 169. You can see they went from minus 149. They've moved 20 cents this direction. So I don't know why Pinnacle, this may be an old price, is still offering the best price in the market, which is really surprising because the sharps, if they wanted to hit this, they would pound the crap out of this and this line would move. So it seems like Pinnacle's trying to entice them to take this. It's like, hey, take this sweet juicy line, because really the answer to the test is over on this side. Well, that would mean you'd go over here to FanDuel or Rivers and play the minus 148. It's best price in the market. It's actually better than the average price in the market, and you're certainly getting the line on a positive a positive direction, trending that way that we see here with Pinnacle. You can actually open this up and get a little bit further data. The further data, you can see that this is the main line bet. The line that we had, the plus 14.5, was an alt line or a derivative. So there are other point spreads available. You can go up and down the food chain here of odds. So again, Circa's got this minus 110. Bet Online's a little bit different at 12. Bookmakers at 12. So you can see here this 12.5 up at Circa is a different price point. And of course we saw Pinnacle earlier. Again on that plus 12.5, they were plus 14.5 minus 168. So seemingly this is the side. This is the San Antonio side. Seemingly is the area. Now I struggle with this sometimes because one of my fundamentals is not putting good money on bad teams, even though it's contrarian. There's some value in these types of situations. I always just get really pissed off when I put good money on bad teams and it doesn't work out, and I kick myself over and over again. But you can scroll down here and see how the odds in the markets change. Here's a minus 134 at minus 10.5. Different price points, different areas, sort of like options trading. And so again, this is how you use the tool. This is how you check out the various prices at the various sports books and use the true north sports books, to find where they are and then go find outlying value elsewhere. Now, another area you can get good info from on the OddsJam page is the odds screen. This is the NBA odds screen for today's games, and you can see the color changes. The red is showing you direction that it's going. The price is going from plus 100 to minus 102, so you can tell direction of price. You can tell direction of the numbers relative to going higher or lower. It gives you an idea if you need to jump in and go find an outlying price someplace else. Best price here, let's say for example at ESPN Bet at minus 5.5, minus 110, which is much better than say minus 6 at minus 112 at FanDuel. So it tells you, hey, if you are on or looking to consider this Pacers-Clippers game, it's moving. This line's moving. There's getting some action. Also getting some action here on the Nets-Raptors total. The over is actually adjusting a little bit. And you can hit this button and open up the time history chart over here and see that when it opened, it was down around 215. It's up around 218.5 now. It's moved 3.5 points when it first opened up. So it's going that direction. The trend is going towards the over. And so again, the lowest possible number, very, very juicy sport trade minus 238, but it tells you direction. So basically what I'm saying is if you could find this, say at a alt price or an alt line price, even this 217.5 is a little bit better than the average 219 here at Bet365. That's a huge difference, guys. I mean, if you're betting the over and you have a 1.5 difference, every little bit helps. So, why would you go bet 219 at 365 when you can pick it up at ESPN Bet? And then contrarily, why would you take an under 217 when you can go pick it up at 219.5, say at Novig. Novig's a betting exchange here in Colorado. I've got the links down below for both Sport Trade and Novig, betting exchanges here in Colorado. If you're a sports bettor in Colorado and do not have these, make sure you get hooked up and linked up with those. Again, I've got that information for you down below. I'll show flash it here on the screen so you can get these signed up. Betting exchanges, outstanding to use as far as day trading sports. So this odds screen page is outstanding to watch and monitor the movement. You can check this out also to get injury information so you can see if maybe the injury information correlates with the price change. Again, when you open it up, when you open up these prices and you see, at a certain time of the day, maybe, in the afternoon when some of the reports come out, you can see the changes in price. So this went from minus 5.5 to 6.5. You can see the trajectory of this price on Brooklyn going up and go in that direction. So if you were on Toronto, you might as well wait because the price is only going to get higher and higher. If you want Brooklyn, you better jump in because the price is kind of getting worse and worse. So as soon as it crosses over some of those key numbers like 5 and 7 and things like that, and some of these basketball games, it can be a little bit different. But this is a great screen, a great tool to use at OddsJam. Highly recommend it, and using it for all the markets, mainline markets, college, hockey, all the sports, all the markets are here, and you can easily access it very quickly. All right, in the same game, the Suns Spurs found in the rebounds market. I like this over 3.5. Reason why I like it is because you can get it at 132 at FanDuel, and you see Bet Online, who I use as a true north, they're at minus 140 right now. They had a cliff dive from minus 132 down to minus 140, so I like that pricing direction. I like that positive direction that is showing us the trending market relative to pricing. Don't have anything on Pinnacle, but I do like the fact that we're using betonline.ag as a player prop true north. Also like the fact these guys are a little juicier. A lot of times they're juicier when you have that going on, so picking this up seems to be kind of an easy one to pick off. All right, so we took a look at the positive EV page. Took a look at the player prop that we found at random. Another thing I like to do is go to the low hold page. Now, the low hold page is a separate page that has a lot of value. And low hold basically means you can get equal prices on either side. So in this case, you can get plus 100, plus 100. In this case, minus 110, plus 110. Minus 225, plus 225. Okay, you can see where I'm going with this. If there's a slight edge or a slight difference, it'll be over here on the left-hand side. So what I'm looking for and what I'm shopping for is to compare a market-making sports book versus a public book. And so what I can do is in this player points, especially in a player prop, this player points bet, we have Derek White under 14.5. Bet Online has this at even 100, so that's where they're priced. And we're going to open up their charts and take a look and see what direction their price point's going. So they're at minus 114. They've gone down. So they're really saying, hey, we think the other side is the bet here. I think the other side is this minus 130s, the side that, the market, the movement's trending, movement's going that direction based on this cliff drop off from minus 114 down to minus 130. They clearly took an influx of money on something from somebody, ideally pretty smart, whoever's betting on Derek White points over. So again, go over here to BetMGM. They're at plus 100. You buy that at even money, plus 100. Even FanDuel, minus 115. DraftKings, minus 115. So that's how you would use and identify that being the better side. Let's take a look at Pinnacle. We don't lean on Pinnacle as much. They're a little bit back and forth on this. But again, based on the fact that these guys are at minus 130, that tells me that this is the best bet and the correct side of that wager. So we'll pause this, put that bet in real quick, and go on to the next one. All right, so let's keep kind of going through these as we have another bet. This is an indicator that we have another bet on the Suns-Spurs game. We mentioned that earlier. You can open this one up as well and look to the fact that Bet Online's at plus 110. The public books, Kings and BetMGM, I like to play unders at DraftKings. My concept is DraftKings is a very heavily public bet. Player like Kevin Durant's going to get a lot of public money. Typically, public like to go over, so you're going to have this always hedged a little bit juicier with them on overs, especially with popular players. If you have players that aren't maybe as quote-unquote popular, that might not be as much of the case. But you can see here, Bet Online, they're at minus 144 on this under. They're like, hey guys, this thing's in our opinion priced to the point where we don't want anybody to take this because that seems to be the right side of the right side. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and hit this a little bit of DraftKings, a little bit of BetMGM, spread it out a little bit. That way we can kind of keep the unit sizes down and still get more coverage and play this under 6.5 rebounds with Durant. So again, what I'm hunting for here to teach you again how to hunt, how to use this tool, is I'm looking for odds-making sports books and player prop bets like Bet Online, comparing it with public sports books just like MGM and player prop type bets at a lower number. So this minus 105, plus 104 is kind of what I'm looking for. This point spread bet, this is a mainline bet going on today in college women's hoops. Don't care what the sport is, just care about the math over here. But certainly this is a market that's not going to be bet as heavily as say a men's college basketball game. So you got to kind of keep that into account. Basically what it's showing here at Pinnacle minus 124. I trust them a lot on these sharp. Mostly sharps are betting women's college basketball, right? You don't have a big market for betting on that. So if this line's moving this direction, there's a reason. That's probably sharp. So minus 124 with Pinnacle. So what I would do is come back over here and play this at the minus 105 at BetMGM. So I'd play Ole Miss plus 9.5 women's college basketball today at noon. Ole Miss Notre Dame. We're going to play that for plus 9.5 and go from there. So, again, when I give out 3 or 4 plays in the morning sessions like this, it's really just how do I choose between this much volume? You can see there is a boatload of bets, boatload of opportunity. And so really, you want this tool to have so you can do your own shopping and do your own grocery shopping on all the different options and choices. You can see you have a boatload of opportunities and a boatload of markets you can get into. And so for me to give out 3, 4, 5 picks, albeit that's great, and kind of show you how and why I do it. Maybe, things to avoid, things to look at, things like that. But you can see there is a tremendous amount of information here. So certainly due to the law of large numbers, you're going to mathematically come out ahead and do really, really well. Now, I want to point out here we have MLB opening up this week. End of the week, Major League Baseball starting. That is outstanding news. They're wrapping up a lot of the spring training games. And so that can be very, very important because teams are starting to kind of actually sort of get ready for the season and get a little bit more into playing shape and rotations. And so this week's probably a pretty decent time to consider some of that. But I can tell you when spring training breaks, there's players going different directions, different locations, different situations. And so it's a very unsettling time. So it's a little bit difficult to get into that too much unless you're doing some fundamental subjective analysis and using it that way. But you have a lot of opportunities here. So again, it's just something that you're going to want to have on your own so you can do your own looking and shopping all throughout the course of the day, the evening, whenever you have your time to do this. Another tip I wanted to point out is you can actually go back in the calendar here. And let's say, for example, you wanted to go back to yesterday's games and pull up the charts to take a look at sort of the markets and how you were going to grade those out, I think it's good to look back and reflect on, how things ended up, the best odds where they were relative to the game and how it kind of laid out. And then you can actually take a look to see what you would have done, could have done with, sort of tracking and understanding and learning, how you would have done with the result. And so I think going back, and you can, use this tool to go back as many days as you want and take a look at the markets, take a look at the charts, take a look at maybe some things you could have, would have, should have, and gather that knowledge and use it to your advantage. Because I think, if you can go back and check the charts, let me pull this open for you, and show that, wow, this is what I was seeing, this is what it kind of meant, and really help yourself learn from this. It's a very valuable tool to use the history part of all this in the calendar on the same odds screen. So another little tip to add to your daily heuristics to kind of continue the education. All right, guys, there you go. As you can see, there is a boatload of picks, a ton of picks. And so when you spend, 45 minutes to an hour a day going through these tools and going through this on your own, you're going to come up with your cherry picked, your top picked selections. And so I'm trying to do this conceptually to give you an idea of how this can work for you and how it can benefit for you mathematically using the tools at OddsJam. So again, make sure you get signed up and get that taken care of for yourself so you have the ability to do that. Next up, education. If you need and want to expedite your education, that's what I'm here for. Have the courses, have the consulting, ask questions, leave me some feedback down below. Appreciate you stopping by the channel here. And again, if you do like this kind of content, continue to give me input, continue to give me feedback. If you want more picks, less teaching, different ideas from different people help make the channel kind of go with it. And so I'm happy to get the feedback and learn from you guys on what's helping you increase that ROI. So again, lots going on in today's video, but hopefully this is very helpful here on a Monday. And as always, we'll be back tomorrow. Appreciate you stopping by. Let's go make some mathematical money.